안녕하십니까. 뉴포초대석 시간인데요. 오늘은 최근에 자신의 변호사 사무실을 오픈하신 여러분도 잘 아시는 분이시죠. 헬렌 김호 변호사 모셨습니다. 그동안은 인권 변호사 활동 그리고 비영리단체 활동으로 많이 알려주셨던 분인데 갑자기 자기 변호사 사무실 오픈하셔가지고 저희가 좀 깜짝 놀라서 어떤 일을 하시려고 하시는지 앞으로 계획이 어떻게 되시는지 저희가 궁금해서 한번 모셔봤습니다. Okay. Hey, good to see you again.
Hey, 감사합니다 so much to you and your lovely wife for having me.
Oh, thank you very much for coming. Could you introduce about your law office?
Sure. Well, Helen Kim Ho, and my law office is HKH Law LLC, my initials. And we have an office in Peachtree Corners, which is, near Norcross in Gwinnett County. And I started it this year. And my two specialty areas are business law, so helping companies with a variety of their legal needs, as well as helping employees, specifically employment discrimination. So any employee that has experienced discrimination because of their national origin or because they're Asian, because they're a woman, because of their age, because of their disability, because they're pregnant, those are the kinds of discriminatory areas that I also practice.
So you're working for the employees?
I work for both employees and employers.
Oh, okay. I understand that you're working for the employees for the discrimination issues.
Yes.
But how do you work for the company?
Okay. Well, in the past, I have 18 years of experience. In the first 6 years, I specialized in corporate law. This was in Manhattan and then later in Houston, Texas. But I worked on mostly corporate deals, meaning mergers and acquisitions and big loan documents for publicly traded companies, like Fortune 100 companies, including Kia Motors. Okay. We were global counsel for Kia, for the main counsel for Kia Global. So we handled all the paperwork that set up their first plant. My law firm did in Houston. So that's one way. Contract negotiation, developing personnel or employment agreements, litigating on breach of contract, defending employers against lawsuits. Let me see. Yeah, just a variety of things for employers.
It sounds weird that working for the employees and working for the employers.
Not really. It's the same type of law, but one ethical rule, of course, is say I represent your company and I will not then take a case from one of your employees trying to sue you. That's a conflict of interest.
Right.
So if I represent Kia, the Kia plant in Georgia, I will have a conflict of interest and then I won't represent, if they're still a client, I won't represent their workers. So there are, ethical rules that, of course, that I will practice, of course, as a lawyer to make sure that I'm not suing and getting paid by the same company. That would never happen.
So the Korean company should hire her before the employees hire her.
I didn't think about that. I'm going to make that my commercial. That's not good.
Okay.
지금 노아은행에 오셔서 다양한 금융 서비스를 누려보세요.
보다 빠르고 간단한 SBA론, 고객의 정보를 안전하게 지켜주는 믿음직한 알림 서비스, 쉽고 빠른 손안의 작은 은행, 모바일 뱅킹.
한인사회와 함께 성장해온 노아은행이 감사하는 마음으로 여러분을 모십니다.
좋은 사람들이 모여있는 좋은 은행.
노아은행.
So, how was your latest activities? Actually, when you leave to the 9 to 5, after that time, we have no news from you.
I know. Honestly, it's been so nice. Now many people know my husband and I are adopting a little girl from South Korea. Wow. And we are so excited. So these 2 years that, I've been kind of quiet, I've been taking, just little jobs, paid work, projects, but spending most of my time honestly working on our adoption and getting ready to be, parents to our daughter. So, I'm sure most people know when you become, and 어머니, 아버지, your
Yes.
life changes. What's important changes. And definitely, starting my own law practice, one of the things in my mind was I want to have more freedom and flexibility to make sure that I can put my daughter first.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations anyway.
Thank you.
So when is your daughter coming?
Next spring.
Next spring.
I hope, I keto every day. Of course, if people know me, I like to work. I don't like to be bored. So, I'll still be working, but I love the idea of working in Gwinnett because that's where, my husband and I live. And, of course I can work anywhere, but it's nice to have the office very close to my home.
Could you tell us something memorable moments or some interesting things when you were working for nonprofit organizations?
There's a lot of, it's like any industry. We call them industries. And I know in Korea, the nonprofit world is different. In America, nonprofits employ 10% of all American workers.
Oh.
So I know a lot of Koreans think, nonprofits, that's everybody volunteers for free.
Yes.
But it's actually, a business. It's just not for profit.
Right.
So, obviously I've experienced building a business, a nonprofit business. And it really was a spiritual endeavor. For sure. A lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. I mean, the bottom line is my husband and I, we aren't rich. But we put $10,000 of our own money when we started the nonprofit in April 2010. And, I was unemployed, basically, even though I was ED, director of my nonprofit, I was working at home and not getting paid for about a year and a half. So it was a big risk, a lot of personal and financial sacrifice for myself and my husband. But, I knew we needed an organization like Advancing Justice ALAC. And my goal always was, let me start it. Let me see if I can make it big enough that we have big foundations giving money every year and we can hire staff. Basically that it's not the Helen Kim show. The goal was we need to create a nonprofit business that serves the Asian community.
Right.
And when I do that, then I'm ready to leave. And that's what I did. Oh,
yes. And we are very appreciative what you have done.
Thank you. I know some people think I'm nichos. My mom's like, why did you leave? I said, I don't know, Mom. Because I did everything I said I was going to do and more. And the way my mind worked about the nonprofit, it was never about, I want to do this forever. I want to keep the power forever. But this law practice, I'm very excited about. I think this is something I will be doing for a very, very long time. And I can't wait to help people directly through my, as a lawyer.
Seriously, about DACA, do you have any opinion about?
With our current presidential administration, it's so hard to guess what is ultimately going to happen. I mean, what's clear is our president loves to make threats, loves to, talk about changing the rights of immigrants and especially the DACA students or DACA young people. From talking to actually changing it, who knows? One side of me thinks once you give people a benefit, a government benefit, it's very hard to take it away because that benefit allows, then people have already hired them. Do you know what I mean? There's a chain effect. There are employers that hire these students and they're working at these companies. What are the companies going to do? So I think undoing it might be, to me, one side says it might be too hard to take it away now that we've given them this right. But we are living in a very interesting political time when anything could change. So just like you've heard me talk about this over and over again when I was running my nonprofit, the best guarantee to make sure we protect each other and our family members who may not, who are on DACA is to vote for the right people, talk to people they know, speak out when you can, just do your part.
안녕하세요. 이상회계법인의 이상엽입니다. 30년 동안 아틀란타 한인사회에 봉사한 역사와 경험을 바탕으로 여러분들의 세무 회계 관리와 재정 은퇴 계획을 상담해드리고 있습니다. 부자 되세요.
Could you tell us what makes you decide to open your own law firm rather than go back to your nonprofit organization?
Well, I had no plans to go back to ALAC Advancing Justice.
Mm-hmm.
I wish them the best. It's like sending your kid off to college and you just hope they do okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think about if I wanted to make a career continue my career in the nonprofit space or go back to be a full-time private lawyer. And, like I said earlier, ultimately, two things. One, my daughter and thinking about what would be best, with our family. And two, honestly, because of this time and everybody is hearing in the news about, all these sexual harassment issues at this time in American society where we have the kind of president that we do, where it's unclear how Congress and our politicians are going to make and change laws. We still have a way to fight for our rights through litigation individually. We have an ability to use what laws are, in the books and argue them, to help and benefit multiple people. So employment discrimination is, an example. If we can win a strong case for, say, a Korean immigrant, that case often will benefit many other immigrants that have similar experiences. So, even before I left Advancing Justice, the last program I developed was the Legal Services Program. And I was working very hard. It was just for immigration legal services, but I was fighting with foundations and saying, hey, you need to give money to groups like mine to have more experienced attorneys like me. I couldn't litigate all the time because I had to run the group. But we can hire, federal attorneys that can argue bigger cases because that's the way we can also fight for our rights. And so now I'm just going to do it. I'll do it in my own practice.
Oh, I see. For the Korean companies who are located in the southern area, they are facing some, not kind of the union issues, but OSHA issues more coming up issue for them.
Yes.
And could you help them to dealing with the OSHA?
Absolutely. I mean, I would love to go into that area. Basically, I have experience in pretty much any kind of corporate, employer-based practice. And I am aware that there have been multiple, OSHA investigations against certain Korean companies. And that's always very stressful, especially if the leaders of that company and the management may not be from America. So that would be an area that I've already had experience in and I would be happy to do. Another thing that I've done is serve as outside corporate counsel, for a company. So whether it's OSHA or something happens and they just want me on call to give them some advice or help develop internal procedures. So, for example, so they hopefully won't have an OSHA complaint. Like what is the best way to operate our factory or our assembly line to avoid OSHA violations? That's another area that I can help in.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
I really look forward to your success and victory news.
I don't know. Just
Upcoming
pray for me.
Oh, yes.
I would say, Helen at hkhlawllc.com is where people can reach me. And I would say the next 3 months, I'm offering a free 30-minute legal consultation. But it's only by appointment only. I don't take people just walking in the door. You need to make an appointment, but I'm happy to, provide that as a service.
You heard that you have 3 months to having a 30 minutes free consultation. 여러분 들으셨죠? 3개월 동안은 그 30분 무료 상담하실 수 있다고 하니까요. 그리로 이메일 보내셔가지고 약속 잡으시고요. 30분 무료 상담 받으시면 됩니다. 특별히 고용 피고용자들의 어떤 차별 문제 수호하실 거 준비하시는 분들, 혹은 기업체들 중에서 오샤 문제를 대비하는 그런 기업들 상담하시면 정말 큰 도움이 되실 것 같으네요. 네, 감사합니다. 오늘은 여기서 마치겠습니다. 다음에 또 좋은 분 모시고 다시 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.